describes himself as a hobo artist. We'd never heard of one of those, so the Art Beat crew headed to Joseph, Oregon, and found Dan Price right away, biking up Main Street on a beautiful autumn day.
Dan Price was having the same problem a lot of artists run into. He needed a studio, but finding just the right spot took some searching. Finally, he dug one up.
It's just about how we all need a place to get away to, you know, and a secret little place. And when you're a child, that's what you did. You made little forts and you got away. But when you become an adult, you really don't get a chance to do that.
Dan built this subterranean hideout as a sanctuary from his busy grown-up life.
At some point, I realized that my best year was when I was 10 or 11 or 12, and I thought, wouldn't it be neat to try and return to that age and figure out how to have that much freedom in your life. And so this is like a little ultimate kid fort.
Dan's art retreat includes a lot more than a hole in the ground. It's an entire wooded playground along the Wallowa River. He calls it Indian River Ranch.
The art of drawing is sort of the basis of everything that I'm trying to do. The reason that I travel, the reason I made this place be so simple is because I want to spend time drawing. It's just about trying to get your life straightened out so that you can sketch as much as possible, you know?
Here, Dan wanders through the meadow, walks leafy trails, and climbs the tallest trees. He says it's all about regaining a child's outlook on the world, and a child's perspective is what fuels his creativity.
10 years ago, I really extensively started learning how to draw, and I had a son then that was about 4 or 5 years old, and I would get him to draw with me. His drawing was way cooler than mine. It was really abstract and offbeat, and it really hit me hard, and I pretty much threw away everything that I had done up till then and started actively watching him draw and copying how he drew things as a little kid. And then it just totally changed my whole style, so that now one of the things I do is just to get in that kid-like mode, I draw without looking.
Back behind the barn, he gave us a lesson.
Drawing 101. The trick is to grab a fat pen and look at an object and don't look at the paper and just go all the way around the object you're drawing. Right up towards the top where you're going to connect the line, you get to look. And see, pretty close, huh? And then you got this really odd kind of abstract shape, and then you can grab another pen. I grab a thinner pen, and then I get to look at the object and start drawing the inside parts.
Dan draws and writes a self-published zine called Moonlight Chronicles. It's a journal of his life.
It's almost like a scrapbook. It's a lot of drawing. It's a story to go with the drawings. And then when I'm done filling this book, I'll dismantle it all, take all these pages apart, and get it printed.
For nearly 10 years, Dan has published Moonlight Chronicles, drawing and writing about things most of us never consider, finding beauty in forgotten objects and overlooked people. Dan celebrates them all in his journal.
Something good to draw. A little beetle that was living down here. Well, a lot of times I'll just take a hike and gather things like the beetle and plants and draw them right out in the field. It's just that I like to make a little book. I like to make little journal books. And it feels like the discoveries that I'm making are so special about drawing or the things that I'm discovering. I want to share it with other people.
Dan's style of drawing has attracted a devoted following, and Moonlight Chronicles subscribers say he's inspired them to begin drawing and journaling, which is one of the reasons why Dan began publishing his journal in the first place.
All of us were artists in the beginning, and what happened is we went to school and our art teacher messed up our minds, saying that we weren't drawing right, and everybody kind of got freaked out and we all quit drawing. And I think one of the things that I'm trying to promote in these little journals that I do is to get people drawing again, because we can all draw, and to just throw all the rules out the window. Don't care what it looks like, just draw. Because you are a natural artist. If you just let your hand go, you'll create some pretty amazing stuff.
Now, if you're ready to pick up a notebook and begin journaling on your own but don't know where to start, Dan has just the thing for you. He wrote a book called How to Make a Journal of Your Life. It's an inspiring little volume chock full of tips, exercises, and even recipes to get you going. It's from 10-Speed Press and can be found at most bookstores. But to get a copy of his zine, Moonlight Chronicles, you'll have to write Dan a letter. His address is Post Office Box 109, Joseph, Oregon 97846. Or visit Dan's website, moonlight-chronicles.com.